is a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my path. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my path.
First reading. A reading from the book of Exodus, chapter 2, verses 1 to 15. A certain man of the house of Levi married a Levite woman, who conceived and bore a son. Seeing that he was a goodly child, she hid him for 3 months. When she could hide him no longer, she took a papyrus basket, daubed it with bitumen and pitch, and putting the child in it, placed it among the reeds on the river bank. His sister stationed herself at a distance to find out what would happen to him. Pharaoh's daughter came down to the river to bathe, while her maids walked along the river bank. Noticing the basket among the reeds, she sent her handmaid to fetch it. On opening it, she looked, and lo, there was a baby boy crying. She was moved with pity for him and said, "It is one of the Hebrews' children." Then his sister asked Pharaoh's daughter, "Shall I go and call one of the Hebrew women to nurse the child for you?" "Yes, do so," she answered. So the maiden went and called the child's own mother. Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Take this child and nurse it for me, and I will repay you." The woman therefore took the child and nursed it. When the child grew, she brought him to Pharaoh's daughter, who adopted him as her son and called him Moses. For she said, "I drew him out of the water." On one occasion, after Moses had grown up, when he visited his kinsmen and witnessed their forced labor, he saw an Egyptian striking a Hebrew, one of his own kinsmen. Looking about and seeing no one, he slew the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. The next day he went out again, and now 2 Hebrews were fighting. So he asked the culprit, "Why are you striking your fellow Hebrew?" But the culprit replied, "Who has appointed you ruler and judge over us? Are you thinking of killing me as you killed the Egyptian?" Then Moses became afraid and thought, "The affair must certainly be known." Pharaoh too heard of the affair and sought to put Moses to death. But Moses fled from him and stayed in the land of Midian. The word of the Lord.
A reading from the Holy Gospel of St. Matthew, chapter 11, verses 20 to 24. Jesus began to reproach the towns where most of his mighty deeds had been done, since they had not repented. "Woe to you, Chorazin! Woe to you, Bethsaida! For if the mighty deeds done in your midst had been done in Tyre and Sidon, they would long ago have repented in sackcloth and ashes. But I tell you, it will be more tolerable for Tyre and Sidon on the day of judgment than for you. And as for you, Capernaum, will you be exalted to heaven? You will go down to the netherworld. For if the mighty deeds done in your midst had been done in Sodom, it would have remained until this day. But I tell you, it will be more tolerable for the land of Sodom on the day of judgment than for you." This is the gospel of the Lord.
Good morning. I wish God's blessings to begin this day in the presence of the Lord. My dear friends, we have a very powerful message in the liturgy of the word today, especially in the gospel. And when we carefully go through the gospel, my dear friends, just notice Jesus did some miracles, healing, and so many other powerful active deeds in certain cities which are mentioned in the gospel. You heard it, dear brothers and sisters. The cities of Chorazin, Bethsaida, Capernaum. Very clearly we find some incidents in Capernaum, healing cases, and some other powerful incidents of Jesus. And then we also have some records in Bethsaida. But surprisingly, my dear brothers and sisters, the gospel does not record the mighty works which the Lord did in Chorazin. So there is a powerful message here for us, dear brothers and sisters. When you have time, try to go through John chapter 21 verse 25. John chapter 21 verse 25. It says, but there are also many other things that Jesus did. If every one of them were written down, I suppose that the world itself could not contain the books that would be written. So the Holy Bible does not contain all what Jesus said and did. So the Bible is only a summary. There are so many things the Lord has done but not recorded in the Bible. My dear brothers and sisters, it has another beautiful message for us. There are certain things that the Lord does every day in our lives, in your life, in my life. The miracles, great mighty works He does every day. But we sometimes do not talk about, we don't meditate, we don't think of. Dear brothers and sisters, we have the privilege of frequenting sacraments and then hearing the Word of God. Even through verbum you hear the Word of God. And then of doing good, we have so many help and the instructions by the Holy Catholic Church to do good deeds. Perhaps the privilege of having received many talents from God, and we have to be grateful to God. But the people in Chorazin, my dear brothers and sisters, did not realize and accept and value the miracles done by Jesus. And in our lives, that can happen to us also. Therefore, today is the day in which you and I are invited to meditate upon the mighty works done in our lives by Jesus Himself. Dear brothers and sisters, at the end of our life, may the Lord not say to you and me, woe to you, for if the deeds of power done in you, in your family, in your community, in your society, wherever you are, had been done in some other people, in some other places, they would have repented long ago. But rather, may you and I hear the Lord telling me, well done, good and trustworthy slave. You have been trustworthy in few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Let those blessed words renown or rather hear or rather echo in our heart and mind during the day. May God bless you.